Hey y'all, what's up? This is Neena Perez, and today I wanted to discuss with you, feeling stuck, right? Moving past feeling stuck because Lord only knows I have been dealing with this for the last few months. And so I was like, you know what? I cannot be the only person right here, right now, feeling stuck. So perhaps, you've tried everything. I know for me, I was trying a lot of different things to move forward, but I still felt like I was spinning my wheels and not really going anywhere and really, really busy, but nothing's happening. And it's possibly that you're really not stuck at all. At least this is what I'm discovering with myself, that it wasn't that I'm really stuck. It's really about fear and shame and negative self talk and feeling like an imposter, like all of those things are coming up for me. And I realize that it's not that I'm stuck at all, but that I'm dealing with some deep, powerful inner emotions, and they're masquerading themselves as being stuck and making it very difficult for me to identify what's going on. Right. So, hey, brother, good morning. I love you so much. Good morning. And I realized that being stuck is like, shit, like a real thing, right? So I was like, I am really feeling stuck in my life. I'm feeling stuck in my decisions. I'm feeling stuck in my career. I'm feeling stuck. And I realized, you know what, Neen, it's not really about being stuck. It's that you are dealing with some serious emotional issues of shame, of fear, of imposter syndrome, all of that. So today we're going to explore how this shame and this fear and all of that is holding us back. I know it's holding me back and held me back. It's not holding me back as much now because I've dealt with some things, but it's holding you back in your personal life and your professional life and building that career you want, all of that. And all of these fears and all of this shame and all this stuff that's tied up in it, you don't realize it, but it really is holding you back, and it's making you feel stuck, or it's making you feel unfulfilled, right? And so we need to overcome these emotions and to break through these emotions so that we can have that life, that business, that career move, whatever that is, that relationship, the way we want to, the way where we're envisioning in our life to be, because we only have one life. I was just reading a story about this beautiful young couple going to prom, and they didn't make it back from prom. They got into a car accident. They both ceased, right? So it was really sad to watch them. My eyes teared up. I don't know the family, but I realized, dang it, how fast our life can go from one way, from 1 second, right? And we're sitting here acting like we're stuck or feeling stuck. So we need to finally move past that stuff. Finally move past feeling stuck. Start living that life that you want. Start being truly who you're meant to be. Is who is it that you want to become? How do you want to show up? What is it that you want to present in the world? Right? Hey babes. Hi, love you. So I am Neena Perez, right? I'm a transformational life coach. I'm a podcaster here at Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And I want to connect with you. So if you want to connect with me, join my free community at winject.com/groups/Neena Perez. That's my free community. And that's where I'm going to be building everything out, especially when it comes to my podcast. Right. And so I've been like dealing with this, and I've been talking to my husband a lot about this because we are both going into this huge transition in our life, and it's causing a lot of anxiety and fear and shame, and all this stuff is popping up, right? And I realized that feeling stuck, like, oh my god, I feel so stuck, I don't know what to do, I'm feeling stuck. I am actually dealing with a lot of shame and fear and unwanted thoughts and behaviors in my life that are masquerading themselves as feeling stuck, right? And so making it really, really difficult for me to kind of like make decisions that I need to be making. And it's time to stop that nonsense. And the way we move past things is we become aware. So I wanted to talk to you about ways to become aware of what's going on, right? Of what is holding you back, or what ways are shame and fear and all of these things holding you back and making you feel stuck, right? So here's some of the things that I started to realize within me, and you probably will notice some of these in you, that are actually, manifesting from feeling this stuck feeling, right? So one of the things I've been doing is procrastinating. I have been seriously procrastinating. And I find myself constantly putting off or taking or avoiding taking any action at all, right? So it's been really it's been a mind gym, right? Working with my mind, trying to expand my neural pathways and trying to make all these new habits and ideas and thoughts. And I realized that I have been really just procrastinating. And I know that procrastination, really the root of that is fear, right? It's always fear of failing. You're always fear of somebody judging you. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of not being able to do what you normally do somewhere else. Like this fear of shame and your shortcomings and all of that. And I know that has a huge part to play in procrastination, even when it comes to like moving to a new place or getting a new job or starting your own business, launching something new in your life. Any of those things, procrastination is one of those things you need to be aware of, because that is one of the feeling stuck. Um, what's the word I'm looking for here? The feeling stuck. Uh, Oh my God, examples, right? So as you're like feeling stuck and you say, well, I don't know. I mean, am I stuck? I don't know. If you're procrastinating, that's a big sign that you are dealing with something deeper than just feeling stuck, right? Another thing that I've realized with me is my perfectionism, right? Oh man, I have been dealing with perfectionism for a very long time, and I find myself obsessing over these little details that really don't matter, and I'm striving for perfection in everything that I do, and I'm like realizing that all of that is from, shame. It's all from fear. It's all from negative self-talk and not wanting to fail, and it makes you afraid. It makes me afraid of being criticized, of feeling ashamed in front of people, of not doing anything perfect. And my perfectionism is a sign that there's something going on here, and it's not just being stuck, right? I mean, it definitely is a flag saying, hey, you're stuck in this area, but why? Right? And so I start with, I start doubting myself. I just start doubting myself. I constantly have this thing about, questioning my worth, questioning if I'm doing this right, questioning if I'm making the right decisions, hyperventilating, like all that stuff is a real thing. And this has been happening to me for the last couple of weeks because I have some pretty big decisions coming up, right? And so I'm constantly in this self-doubt thing we need to overcome, right? And you may be afraid of something. You may be afraid, I know for me, of not measuring up, of not putting my value on the table, of not being able to build the empire that I am building. And I am like, am I good enough? Can I do this? Will I be able to achieve this? How can I do it? Right? This is real, guys. All of us go through this at some level when we are transitioning, whether we are starting a business or going into a new career or going into a new way of life or whatever it is. This is real, right? And so what happens to me is another thing is I overthink. So I find myself over analyzing everything, right? Because I have a very analytical mind. I'm always looking at things and always trying to analyze them and figure them out. I mean, that's why I'm a director, right? Because that's what you do. You direct processes, you direct teams, you direct all of that. And so overthinking is a huge one for me. So I find myself over analyzing situations and worrying about the future, worrying about what's going on, worrying if I can make this happen. And this is a huge sign for you and for me that there is some shame there, that there is some fear there, that there's some negative self-talk there. And we may be afraid of the unknown and ashamed of what might be happening, because guess what? You and me don't have the answers. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. And so we start to overthink things, and that's not helping you. And this is a part of being aware that there's something going on. It's not just being stuck, but we're going to get moving past it, right? Another thing that I'm dealing with right now, and that I have been dealing with and getting better at, is just taking on too many things at one time. And I have a lot of passions, right? So as you know, I'm a director of culinary operations. I love my team. I love leading. I love culinary. I love all of that. But I also have a very successful women's coaching business where I'm a transformational coach. And I love that too, right? I love a lot of things, and I love speaking on stages. Like I love motivating people. I love doing all of that. And I love podcasting, right? But I'm taking on so many things. I have so many passions that I think I can do them all, right? And that's clearly a sign of being an overachiever. Hello, that is I. And trying to prove something. What am I trying to prove and to who? Right? I may not even excel in all of these things because I'm doing too many things at once. So taking on multiple things all at once is a reason why you're stuck. It's a reason why you're feeling stuck. You may not be like focusing on the one thing that you need to be doing to help you achieve and move forward. So therefore you're stuck in a lot of things. I mean, listen. Okay, I am definitely one that is big on this. My husband's always telling me that, babe, if you do this, you're not going to focus on that. If you do this part, you're not going to focus on this. Make sure that maybe God is calling you to be 100% in on your coaching business. And then I'm like, yeah, but what about this, you know what I mean? So be careful with that. Taking on too many things doesn't mean you are killing it. It just means you are killing your process. You're killing yourself from moving forward. Okay. Another thing is avoidance. Okay. So if you find yourself avoiding something, like really avoiding it, conversations, avoiding doing a certain project, avoiding completing something for your business, all of that stuff, you are dealing with feeling stuck because there's fear and shame involved. And so you're avoiding it. You're afraid. You're afraid of facing it. You're afraid of facing what it is you have to do. You're afraid of that difficult emotion that may come up, that may tell you you're not that good at this, or that you shouldn't be doing this, or whatever that emotion is, that fear that is just bubbling up in you, and so you avoid it altogether. I remember many years ago, before I got all my shiznick together with my bills and all of that stuff, I used to avoid it like the plague because I had no money. And so when the bills came in, I threw them in a pile, and they were all in a ginormous pile, and I never paid them because avoidance was going to make them better, and it didn't. I made it worse because I wasn't looking at the real numbers. I wasn't looking at really what I had to do to improve. It is important that you recognize that feeling stuck may feel like the problem, but it may not even be the real problem. It might just be a symptom of what's really happening with your emotions. It might be a symptom of that shame, that fear, those unwanted ways you talk to yourself, that imposter syndrome, all of that. And I want you and me to break free from this cycle of constantly feeling this stuck and living in this place where we don't want to live. And all of us have, I don't care who you are, we all have some kind of desire or inspiration or goal or something we're aiming for, little or big, right? And when you feel stuck, though, it feels huge and it feels like you cannot reach it. But how do we do it? How do we freaking overcome this, right? So we have awareness. We talked about being aware, understanding that you have to have this awareness, paying attention to the deeper underlying issues, such as that shame and that fear and those negative self-talk and all of that, right? And I know that can be challenging, but I want to talk to you about a couple of things that you might have to start noticing within yourself so that you can identify what's going on here, right? And so one of them for me, physical sensation, because I pay attention to how my body feels now. I never did before. I didn't bother. But now I pay attention to how my body feels, especially now when I'm in full of this feeling stuck and feeling overwhelmed with not thinking I'm good enough, right? And when you feel that tense, that nervousness, that overwhelm, that stuck place that you're feeling, these are physical signs that you're experiencing something more than just being stuck, right? You're feeling something. It's fear, it's shame, it's overwhelm, it's all of those things. But why? Right? So notice how you feel. I know for me, I have to take deep breaths all the time. I feel it, like I always said, in my throat area, right? And so I know how I physically feel. So when I feel stuck and I start to get overwhelmed and I want to avoid and I want to run away, that's when I catch myself. I said, okay, what's going on here? What are you feeling? Why are you feeling it? What's happening here? Right? And so I identify what's happening, and then I realize and notice how I'm speaking to myself. A lot of us, maybe I would venture to say 100% of us have some negative self-talk, right? And that negative self-talk is running through your mind, is running through your mind, is running through your mind, and it's making you feel like you're stuck wherever you are in your life. So you keep telling yourself that you're not good enough. You keep telling yourself that you don't know if you can do this. You keep telling yourself, nah, I don't really want to. You keep putting yourself in a place of not having to move forward, avoiding things or whatever, because these things are scary, because it's really hard to stop and say, why do I talk to myself like that? I wouldn't even talk to my friend like that. I would never tell one of my friends that they can't do something they want to do. Yet I tell that to myself often, and I'm constantly fighting myself, or not fighting, I'm constantly rewiring how I think so I don't keep doing that to myself, right? These thoughts that you are having that are negative are coming from something deeper than you just being stuck. Okay. These are these are deeper things happening here. There's a deeper underlying issue, whether it's shame or fear, or something that someone said to you that made you think differently about who you are as a person. Somebody might have hurt you when you were younger, and now it's a little harder to get through things because of what's happening there, right? So I want you to reflect on your past experiences. I want you to look at that. I want you to really experience, why are you feeling stuck, and where is that coming from? What what caused that? Why is that here? Right? What emotions am I feeling right now? And when I did feel stuck in the past, because it has happened to me, what did I feel then? What was that? What was going on? Did I feel any kind of shame? Was I afraid of something? What happened? And I realized that that's exactly what gave me the reflection of what I'm feeling now. The reflection of what I'm feeling now to actually go ahead and launch my business 1,000% and go head on all in. I immediately, you saw me take the breath. I immediately take a breath. I immediately feel it in my body. And I realized that that same fear, that same feeling, that same, stuff that came up of not being good enough is the very last time, I think it was like 2008, when I know that God has sent me back to school. I went back to college as an adult, 30 years old, and went and got my degree in culinary and kept going all the way up to my bachelor's. And I realized that even then, I was so scared when I made that decision. I felt it in my throat, my chest, my heart. I felt it everywhere. And I felt like I failed. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Of course, I succeeded big time. But when I made the decision, I did not succeed. Okay. I mean, when I made the decision, I was afraid, I should say, I didn't succeed or I wouldn't succeed. And I realize now, reflecting back, that, wow, okay, that's where that comes from. That fear of failing, that fear of not having, right? And so right now in my life, I've grown up. I'm a big girl now, right? I've grown up, right? I've gotten years and years of personal development. I've gone to school. I've gone to get all of my certifications. Like, I've done all of that. And I'm asking now for the feedback from people. I ask and I seek my feedback so that I'm not caught up in my own nonsense, right? So I ask my friends, I ask my family members, I ask my coaches. I have several coaches. I believe in coaches. I ask, people that I work with, my colleagues, and they may be able to provide for me some outside perspective that can help me look at what I'm afraid of. Why am I feeling this way, right? This underlying issue that's holding me back. And a lot of them give me such amazing insight of who I am and the value that I bring, that it helps me to woosah, woosah and relax, right? Come back to me. Right. So one of the things that I think is huge once you start to identify is make sure that you work with somebody. Like I said, a friend or whatever, a coach, a therapist. I don't really have a preference on who you work with, but consider working with someone to provide you guidance and support as you go through this process, so you can start to identify what is happening here. And you can start overcoming all these underlying issues, because I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you go through some stuff. We all do. Now, once you identified all of these issues, it's time to overcome them. It's time to work on it, right? It's one thing to identify them. Oh, I feel it. I hear it. I know it, blah, blah, blah. It's another thing to take the steps that you need to break free. You got to start breaking free from this cycle. I know I'm on this cycle, And I want you to also be on a cycle or past me on this cycle, because it is time to break free. It is time. And here are some strategies that can help you, right? The first thing I have been doing, and I've had to really, really focus on doing self compassion. I've had to really focus on that, right? Because my negative self talk and my fear and my shame and all of that stuff, even though I have done a lot of work in this area, still comes up. It is a daily, daily thing for me. It's probably a daily thing for you too, because I think naturally we tend to beat ourselves up first, right? So break free. One of the things for me is prayer. Of course, I pray. I love God. I pray all the time. I need him in my life in order for me to move forward. I also practice self-compassion. I try to be more kind to myself, more compassionate with myself. I'm not giving myself passes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying here like, oh, don't worry, you are just so perfect the way you are every day. No, like, girl, okay, you got this. What's your steps? What's your strategies? What's going on here? Be good, be kind to yourself, and stop beating yourself up. Okay. I'm trying to talk to myself the way I would talk to my best friend. All right. So acknowledge that you're going to make mistakes. Imagine that you are going to have all of these experiences that are going to set you back, and that is okay. Remember that that doesn't equal your self-worth, right? It's not dependent on your achievements. That's not what your self-worth is dependent on. You are created. You are here. You are, to me, created in the image of God. You are here to actually impact the world. And it doesn't matter how much you fail. It doesn't matter how much you carry unwanted behaviors or anything like that. That is not dependent on each other. You are going to experience setbacks. You are going to make big time mistakes. It's going to feel like crap. That is clear. But your worth is your worth, right? And I'm sure some of you have already seen that thing all over the internet with the $20 bill and how they get it. How much is it? $20. They crumple it up. How much is it? $20. They step on it. How much is it? $20. Now that bill might look dirty, might be crumpled up, might not look as new as it was before, but it never lost its worth, and neither will you. You will make mistakes. You will have experiences that'll set you back, but your worth is always your worth, right? It's always high value. So don't make a mistake or something that you've done in your life make your self-worth lower. Nope. Nope. Not on my watch anyway. Not on mine. Right. And another thing I want you to do is get clear on your values. That's what I've been doing. I've been getting clear on my values. My values, one of my top values is definitely my family, God, my family, right? And then everything else. And I have to take some time. You have to take some time to reflect on what's important to you in your life and in your work, if your work is important to you. This is going to help you. This is going to help you really identify where you're feeling stuck, right? Where this fear is coming from, right? And it's going to give you a sense of maybe pivoting a little bit and changing a little bit, and so that you can start to move forward. So get clear on what's important to you. Get clear on what's important to you, and stop letting your fears stop you from what it is you really, 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 really value. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is practice to being mindful. This is going to help you to be present, be here, be aware. I used to think this was so woo woo. I'm like, oh my God, these people are going to be sick with this mindfulness stuff, right? Until I started to realize the problem was I didn't want to be alone with myself. I didn't want to think for think my thoughts. And so practicing mindfulness was really tough for me, right? And it's just being aware of your thoughts. It's just being aware of how you feel. It's being aware that you don't want to get caught up with how you feel. Now, people enrage me, they get me mad, they treat me unfairly. And then I go, okay, how do I want to deal with this? Well, I want to walk out of this with the same integrity I walked in. And the way they perceive me does not give me value or not value, right? That was tough for me. So practice being mindful for yourself, okay? Another thing I want you to do is reframe the way you think. So reframe your thoughts. Challenge those negative things that you say to yourself, because you would not talk to your friend that way. No, you would not. Right? So instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I'll never be good at this, whatever that is, why don't you start changing that as soon as you catch yourself? You know what? I'm actually making some progress here. I'm further along today than I was yesterday, that's for sure. And I'm learning from all of these mistakes. This is amazing. I love this process. Right? That is a whole different way than actually beating yourself up because you don't know something yet. Right? So reframe your thoughts and stop letting those negative things and those negative patterns that we've developed throughout the years become something that stops you from being, who you want to be and what it is you want to create. Here's a good one for you. Take action. Get your ass moving. All right. So even if you feel stuck, do one thing. I don't care what it is. Invent it. Do something. Move. Okay. Because I know you want to what is it? Manifest everything and call it up into existence and all that good stuff. But you got to move your ass. Okay. So take some small steps. I don't care what it is. Set that goal. Take one little, tiny step, even if they feel extremely scary and uncomfortable, right? And this is going to help you. I promise you, this will help you start building that confidence, reducing that fear, reducing that shame. Because, babe, you're not stuck. You're not stuck. There's something going on and you need to move past stuck. Okay. No one's coming to rescue you. No one's coming to rescue you. So make it happen. Make it happen for you. No one's going to show up. No one's going to say, oh, you know what? You know what, bro? You know what, sis? You're stuck. I got you. No, ain't gonna happen. Right now, can you have friends around you to support you? Yes, but no one's coming to rescue you. You have to rescue yourself. Move that tail. You hear me? All right. Choose the right habits. I know discipline is important. For me, that's what I'm developing in my life, are right habits and discipline. They are very, very important, but it has to start with choosing to develop the right habit. Set your intention. See what that right habit is. Maybe you're wasting too much time. Maybe you're procrastinating on something. Maybe you're not doing something that you know you should be doing. You know you should be doing it. And yet you're not doing it. So set your intention and choose the right habit to go with that intention. The discipline will come. It'll come. You'll start to develop it little by little and it'll walk right alongside of you to support you. But choose the right habit first. All right? Choose the right habit. So you know what? I'm going to stop eating sugar. Okay. It's going to be hard at first, but you choose the right habit. I'm going to discipline myself to stop eating sugar because I am a sugar fiend. Okay. Your girl is a sugar fiend. Okay. I'm going to stop eating sugar. That doesn't mean that I'm going to have the discipline. I am so disciplined. I'm going to be no, what it means is I'm choosing to have a right habit and I'm going to do it every day, little by little, and discipline will come in and help me out. Okay. So set your intention. It's to be healthy. Choose the right habit and discipline will come and you will be getting the support that you need. And that's with business and in life. Okay. And I said this before, but it bears repeating. Seek some support. Don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out to a friend, reach out to family, reach out to colleagues, reach out to a coach, reach out to a therapist. I don't care who you reach out to. Don't do this alone. You don't have to do this alone. This is such crap, right? We always think we got to do everything alone. Nobody's going to understand. Nobody knows this, but bull crap. Everybody needs somebody. I always say every coach needs a coach, but everybody needs somebody. Having someone you can talk to, brainstorm with, and just kind of like throw out ideas to gain a new perspective is gold. Gold. And nobody that you care and trust is going to judge you. All right. So having someone who can help you, who can gain a new perspective, who can provide you encouragement and motivation. Hello, gold. Okay. Because nobody makes it alone. Everybody makes it with somebody. Everybody needs somebody. So stop trying to do stuff alone. There is no need to do that. Okay. No freaking need. I can't do this community alone. I can't be out here doing all of this alone. I can't be speaking about all the things that I do in my life alone. I have a team. I have people around me. We need somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Okay. I hope to be that somebody for you. All right. But everybody needs somebody. Hey, look at that. Karina. She's one of my coaches. Love her very much. Hi, Karina. She's amazing. Amazing. She's helped me through so many different things. Oh my God. Anyway. All right. I'm going to go goo and gaga over her. So, all right. But I want you to use these strategies and I want you to challenge yourself. So challenge your negative self-talk, challenge the fear, challenge the shame, challenge that feeling stuck in your life thing, because that's what in fact, Karina's the one that's helped me transition or transform from all of these things, transcend a lot of these behaviors. It's a process. All right. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes dedication. It takes thought for you to actually move your ass to move forward to do what it is that you want to do. Right. So, right. Oh, yes, yes, you are amazing too. Love you so much. Right. And so this is the thing. I don't need you to be stuck anymore, because stuck just means there's something underlying: fear. There's something there. There's a negative self-talk. There's unwanted behaviors. There's like all of this stuff that is just stuck under their shame. And that's what's making you feel stuck. So if you're procrastinating, you're putting things to the side, you're trying to be a perfectionist, you're trying to, you're a high achiever, all of those things, I need you to look deeper. I need you to look deeper. Remember, it's a process. It's going to take time, practice, and keep going forward. You're going to have to fully overcome these emotions, but man, it is worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. I can tell you that from experience, because Lord knows what I've been going through these last couple of weeks. But I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to let Shiznit go, build my empire, and hopefully have you along the way. I love you guys so freaking much. Thank you guys for joining me, because I can't do this without you. Join my free community, winject.com/groups/Neena Perez. This is Neena Perez, straight talk, no sugar added. Until next time.